Hello, mysterious person behind the screen. I am once again joined by Isaac.
Allow me to break the ice.
And if you haven't guessed, we are doing a commentary on Batman and Robin.
Hooray!
Yes. So yeah, without further ado,
If you'd like to sync this up with your own copy of Batman and Robin, if you actually went out and bought a copy, uh, feel free to put the timestamp to 0 and press play in 3, 2, 1, go.
so we begin with the Warner Brothers logo turning into a frozen bat.
That's true.
So
I think it's quite a cool effect.
it is a cool
Agreed.
effect. It's a prequel to The Dark Knight Rises, because if you remember, The Dark Knight Rises
Oh
starts off with a
yeah.
frozen bat. So Schumacher did it first.
hmm Plus also Schwarzenegger gets top billing like Jack Nicholson
He
did.
does, yeah. It's it's interesting that
I
sort of
think he
come
was
full
paid
circle.
I think he was paid $25 million for this.
Oh, really? Yeah, and he
Yeah.
wasn't in the suit for a lot of it, was he?
No, it was a stuntman. I mean, for
Yeah,
25 million, I'd make him wear that even
Ex-
if he went to bed.
exactly. But so, I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense because I don't think George Clooney was a huge star at this point. I think he was and he wasn't he?
I think he was more known for TV,
TV,
and
yeah.
I saw an interview with him on the Graham Norton show a few years ago where he said, "I thought Batman and Robin would be a good career move. It wasn't, because I think, yeah, I think this was one of his first like mainstream films."
Yeah, it was because at the time he was known for doing ER, and I think there are
hmm
stories about him making ER and this at the same time, and him like going back and forth kind of between the sets. So he was pretty much a
Yeah,
TV guy. Um,
yeah, because I think a few years after he did this, someone asked him about Batman and Robin, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I was in that, wasn't I?"
yeah. Well, we're about to see him looking very cross-eyed. Well, our first reveal of him in the bat suit, he looks
Yeah,
very high. Yeah, here it
like
is.
there, yeah,
Yeah. Looks
ooh.
confused.
Mm, And oh, this isn't too bad. You've got them suiting up and getting
Yeah.
in the Batmobile. The music's quite good.
Batmobile's got a disco ball in it.
Why? Christ, here it is. That Superman line apparently was supposed to be a reference to the upcoming
Yeah.
but cancelled Superman Lives.
Superman lives. I mean, it wouldn't have surprised me if they had tried. Yeah.
Can you imagine George Clooney and Nicolas Cage in a Batman v Superman
A team
film?
up for the ages. It probably would have been
hmm
better than the Batman v Superman we got, to be fair.
hmm
Would have certainly been a hell of a lot more fun.
Yeah. Oh, this film's padded out like mad.
Yeah. The Robin
Like, it's just
cycle.
so slow of the Robin bike coming. I'm like, get on with it.
They've got somewhere to be, but they've got to do this light show. Okay, so I really love everything with Alfred in this film, and I've
Yeah, it's the closest you get to feeling any type of emotion.
yeah, I think he does a great performance. There's a lot of good stuff with
Yeah.
that with those two. I think so. I love. This is the thing. I have a huge soft spot for this, and a lot of this is just going to be me having a laugh with it because that's kind of what I like to do. And with
hmm
this Gordon calling him and saying he's calling himself Mister Freeze. That's right out of like an old corny comic book strip of just saying Batman. There's a new villain. He's Mister Freeze. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
it's
it's straight out of the Adam West show.
yeah, it's just makes no
I mean,
like
my favorite thing about this film is the behind the scenes stuff, but and
yeah
I just feel really, really sad because, for example, Jeep Swenson who played Bane, that makeup took like 2 to 3 hours, and
yeah.
all he does is just go, oh, like,
Bane,
just feels like, yeah, it just feels like a huge waste of money. You think,
monkey
what's the
step.
point?
Ah, here he is. Here he is.
Mm. In all honesty, I think Schwarzenegger could have been a good Bane.
Yeah. I mean,
If he
wow.
played it like if he played it like he did in the first Terminator film, he could have been a really good Bane.
Well, yeah, because the first Terminator, I find him really, really creepy in that, and he's so physically imposing as well. I think he could have been
Yeah.
really cool.
hmm
So, I mean, we're seeing here, this is all a set, and this is... The production design in this and the way the money's up on screen is kind of incredible. Like, this is a huge set. It's
I
quite
think
impressive.
though in some scenes you can tell it was really rushed because
Yeah,
sometimes the cinematography just looks really bland and
really
flat.
flat, yeah. It's later on in when the police are looking around Mr. Freeze's, like, ice cream factory thing. All that looks
Yeah.
really, like, uninspired. But I mean, all this just looks.
Everyone looks like they're on a big trampoline.
Yeah,
Like, what is this? And it forms the Robin signal.
I
How?
know. I
No.
I don't even care. I love that. It's just so like, how does that work? It doesn't matter. It's the Robin signal.
And then you've got the gun that. How the fuck did it do that? Oh Christ! 5 minutes in.
Oh, this is going to be a lot of. I mean, this sums this up. This whole thing where he's going, kill the heroes, destroy everything, sums it up.
It's like you're in a room. It's like you're in a room and a bunch of naked pensioners walk in and start dancing naked. You're just like, you can't stop watching, but you're just thinking in your head, what the fuck is going on?
It's like an assault on the senses. And I
It's like
don't
a
know
huge
why.
acid trip.
I don't know why that line just makes me laugh so, like, destroy everything! It just makes me laugh. I don't know why. It's the hockey
Oh
team
yeah, and they
now.
clip their heels and they have skates in them.
Yeah. Oh. Well, that's part of the... But, you know, that's another... Buy ice skate Batman from your local Walmart right after you see this film. It's the first
Well, yeah, that's
sign
the
of this being
thing.
a
There
toy
was so
commercial.
many. Yeah, here's the thing. So many costumes and props in this. They were made just to sell, just so they could make a toy out of it.
Yeah.
Like the vehicles you see at the end. Plus, also, this film only came out 2 years after Batman Forever, whereas the other Batman films had a 3-year gap between
Yeah,
them,
they
and
did. You can...
everyone felt that we were rushing way too quick into this.
Yeah, they talk about it in the documentaries and everything, and it's Batman Forever was such a huge hit, wasn't it? And Warner Brothers was just kind of like, yeah, just get a new Batman film out.
hmm
Just launches the guy up, and he doesn't. The guy just seems to keep going.
Yeah, that's not how gravity works.
Also, the bat suit in this is really bad, I think. Just this default
To be
bat
fair,
suit.
I don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind his black symbol. It's just like the muscles on it are way too obvious.
I don't know. I just find it so sort of plain. Like even Batman, even the Dark Knight trilogy has sort of shades to it, and it's got layers to it. That's and this is just sort of plain black. It's just like it's I don't know. I think a suit like this needs a bit of I don't know something there to just make it not look like a big black blob.
Also, I love how the ice works in this. You shoot it and it automatically
Yeah.
shatters the thing it's freezing.
But then
Like this dinosaur.
other
Like,
times
what's
it
the
doesn't.
point of it?
It's just I like Mr. Freeze's suit.
That's true, yeah.
I think it's quite cool.
But I think the best, actually, yeah, probably the best live action one is probably the Gotham one.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, okay, yeah, because that's kind of like the animated series one, isn't it? It's got vague sort of
Yeah.
signs of that with like the red
But
goggles and the...
yeah, I like how in Gotham they do his origin, but I think after that he's more of a bit of a plot device. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, Penguin wants to freeze the Riddler for revenge. Who do we know Freeze's stuff,
Yeah,
Mr. Freeze.
I don't know that was the first time Gotham really got, because Gotham starts off as like just this paint by numbers detective show, and Mr. Freeze was one of the first times it got kind of
Crazy.
like comic
And
booky
Firefly as well.
and Firefly. Yeah, I quite like Firefly in that show. It's a bit different. The fact that it was a
I
female
do as
version
well.
as well.
To be fair, I liked it when Gotham went insane.
Yeah, I did.
Because it's probably the closest we're ever going to get to having live action villain team ups. For example, part 2 of season 4, it's just all the villains are in one room, and I love it.
It's great. They've announced a Gotham Central TV show, haven't they?
And I'm like, you are aware we just had a TV series?
Yeah, I to be honest, I really want to read Gotham Central, the books that it sounds like it's going to be based on. Because I like the concept of it just being like the day-to-day lives of the GCPD staff and stuff, but it's kind of feels very similar to what we just had with Gotham. But
yeah,
they are harbingers of your doom.
The icy cold of space. Maybe Superman's there holding the woman who can. Maybe Superman's there holding the woman who can breathe in space.
Yeah. Oh. Superman 4 is broken.
Wait a minute. A teenager climbing up higher into space and a billionaire's there as well? Is this Batman and Robin or Avengers Infinity War?
Ooh.
I'm surprised Batman doesn't say, Alfred, release the Space Robin suit.
Mr. Wayne, it smells like a new car in here.
Wait, just say Cowabunga.
Yeah.
Chris O'Donnell hated this suit.
It looks quite uncomfortable, but I quite like the design. I like that it's basically just the Nightwing costume with a cape and the colours shifted.
Yeah. Plus also the mask was actually glued onto him because with Batman Forever, with Batman Forever it was just like one he could easily take off.
That sounds unbelievably painful.
To be honest, I never got Robin's disguises anywhere because you can clearly tell who it is.
It's just for show, really, isn't it?
Robin just said bat bomb. That sums up this film.
A bat bomb. Cowabunga.
In fact, I'm not too sure because I think this came out the same week that Disney's Hercules did, and I don't know if Hercules actually bet that at the box office or if this did on its opening weekend.
I don't know, because I know that this did well, but it was a bit of a disappointment, wasn't it? It wasn't. It did okay.
It did lower than Batman Returns.
Yeah,
because
it didn't set the world on fire.
Yeah, because the first weekend I think was pretty good for this. It was pretty impressive, but there was like a 63% drop off for the second weekend. Yeah, word of mouth. I mean, I've seen Siskel and Ebert's review of it. I think they were a bit too kind.
Oh, really? I've not seen their review of it, actually.
Well, they both give it just 2 stars out of 4, which is a negative review from them.
To be honest...
And Roger Ebert actually said, I just realised it doesn't matter who plays Batman as long as they've got a good chin.
Well, that's the thing. George Clooney looks like Batman. Like, he's got the... It sounds weird. He's got the chin for it, but he just doesn't really... He's just
Plus, in real life, he's probably real life Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, basically.
Apart from his parents being dead.
Wow. To be fair, 2 out of 4, that's kind of what I would give it, I guess, because it is just very, it's just a giant...
Yeah, I'd probably give it... Yeah, because, I typically see this on, like, worst films ever made, and I've even seen it, like, take the number 1 spot.
Yes.
But for me... It probably wouldn't come in my top 10, probably like top 20, because it's just too funny for... Yeah. It's too funny for it to be the worst film I've ever seen.
Yeah, Empire Magazine, I think, did that list, and it was the worst film ever made. It's like, it's not. It's competently made, and the money is up on screen, and it looks like they've put effort into it. We want to talk about worst movies. on that list, you'd have stuff like, I don't know, Troll 2, or that X versus Sever film, and stuff like that.
Well, at number 50 was Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of that film, but I won't... No,
Yeah,
not the worst movie ever made. Not one of the worst movies ever made.
Not at all, not at all. But I guess that's a topic for another time.
Cinematography, the cinematography here, where they're chasing him through the snow, looks really good.
It looks really nice, doesn't it? That we just missed it. The shot where he sort of stands up and looks at Freeze looked awesome.
Yeah. Plus, also he says, "I'll kill you next time." Why don't you just kill him now? You can easily freeze him.
Also, we talked over it, but what was Robin's plan there? Because it looked like he jumped about 2 centimeters.
I got him.
I got him. I'll jump on the floor. Ah, here we go. Here's Uma Thurman hamming it up.
The thing is, all of these actors are good. They're just given a toilet water script.
I think she knows. I really like her.
Oh yeah, she knows she's in something stupid.
She plays it. She pitches it perfectly, because it's just, I think she's gone, right, this is a load of old bollocks. I'm just going to have some fun. This is a fun nonsense film. Let's just turn the ham up to 11. And she just goes
also,
for it.
The guy who we see in a bit, who plays Dr. Woodrow, he's great.
Yeah, John Glover, did he voice the Riddler in the animated series, I think?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and he was in Shazam recently as well. He was the...
Yeah, he's great. I'm afraid you'll have to die. And I always forget Bane is in this.
I do as well, because he's not really a presence. I mean, he looks like Bane, though. That's the thing. He looks like...
I mean, yeah, he's overly buff, but...
Yeah. And
yeah,
the mask.
Bane is supposed to be one of Batman's smartest villains.
Yeah. I mean, immediately...
Yeah, as I said earlier, Schwarzenegger would have been a great Bane, I think.
I think so. I mean, this is all just very... This is a cartoon episode now. Like, the ununited nations and her going, what is he doing in there? And like, stuff like that. This is a full-on cartoon.
The over-the-top lighting here, the bright-coloured laboratory. The stereotypical representatives of the world.
Yeah.
Dressed in what everyone thinks they do.
It's just like the United Nations in the Adam West film, when they just spend they spend the whole time doing stereotypically whatever country they are, like, phrases.
I also remember when The Dark Knight Rises came out, people were saying, "Oh, the Bane and Batman and Robin's better because it's closer to the comics." Fuck off.
I mean, if you look at a picture, then yes, but if you've seen the film, then no.
No.
But that's what I mean. The mask is pretty dead on, really. If you just got the mask, you look at it and go, yeah, that's Bane. I think
the one in the animated series was done pretty well, I think, because I think he appeared twice. He appeared in Bane and Over the Edge.
He's great, yeah. I mean, yeah.
But he never broke Batman's back in that series.
No, well, probably.
I'm surprised they didn't make an arc out of it.
I'm surprised they never did like an animated a film like the Return of the Joker or Sub-Zero or something. I'm surprised they didn't dedicate like a whole film to it.
Well, Sub-Zero was delayed because of the negative reception of this film, because I don't think they wanted it to be associated with it. Oh yeah, and he's called Bane because Bane of humanity. Like, what?
Where's the green light as well? Seems to be creating its own smoke. Oh, he's got a turbo mode.
Oh god, it reminds me of Arnold in Jingle All the Way. It's turbo time!
I got the Turbo Man doll!
Where's your Christmas spirit? Put that cookie down! No!
There's an extended version of that. Of all the films to get an extended version, that one has it.
That was actually the first Arnold Schwarzenegger film I ever saw.
Oh really? I think this might have been, actually. In fact, yeah.
I was 10. Yeah, I was 10 years old. It was Christmas. You know, Film 4 were doing like Christmas films, and I thought, oh, cool, this looks cool. Years later, it's not.
Yeah, I watched this around the same time as I watched the other one, so I was like 4, 5, maybe 6 years old. So this was probably my introduction to Arnold. Actually, I think I kind of knew of him through stuff like The Simpsons and like Osmosis. Like everyone knew the accent and stuff, but
Yeah.
he's having so much fun. He's going for it. Here
I
we
mean,
go.
he should have been the main villain in this.
Yeah. You
My
corrupt
research.
my research.
I'm doing a god-awful Michelle Pfeiffer impression!
You sicko! That's what I mean. She's great. She's just... Oh, you psycho.
Yeah.
Okay, I apologise.
I can respect your opinion. Sadly, I'm not good at rejection.
I'm afraid you'll have to die. Ah! He's so good. Ah. Also, I like that the lightning and whatever this light is, the lightning seems to be striking multicolored. So presumably there's like rainbow lightning in this world.
Yeah. If I'm honest, Poison Ivy as a villain doesn't really do much for me, because
What?
she's just not... I don't find her that interesting, to be honest.
Like,
in any of her incarnations, just generally.
Yeah, I was going to say generally. I quite like her. I mean, she's quite one that I prefer her when they give her someone to play off. Like, I like anytime you put Harley Quinn with her, she's great. Because I like how they play off each other, but she's... Yeah, I kind of agree.
Plus, in Gotham with Ivy, they kept changing actors.
Yeah, that was weird, and they kept aging her up every time, and it's like that was kind of
because they changed. Because I think they changed actors for the Scarecrow in the second half of season 4, but that was all right because he was wearing a mask the whole time.
Yeah, I never noticed that. So, but I mean, with Poison Ivy, you could totally see with that show that her character kind of sums that show up, because it starts off as a child and it's clearly meant to be, oh, she's going to be the future Poison Ivy, like in that first season. That's kind of it. And then as the show goes along, it basically decides that it wants to be a Batman show without Batman, which is why she becomes Poison Ivy then. I highly doubt that was the initial plan, but oh, he's so good. He's really good in this.
Yeah, Michael
Gough.
I'd say the best scenes in this film are the scenes between Bruce and Alfred.
Well, there's a great line later on that's it wouldn't look out of place in the Dark Knight trilogy. I think he says something like, "What is Batman if not an attempt to control the death that sweeps our world," or something. And it's like, that wouldn't be out of place in the Dark Knight trilogy. That's a great line. I love all this stuff, like with them just talking about Bruce Wayne's childhood and stuff, and then wandering through the mansion, and
yeah,
I quite like a lot of the quieter moments in this.
There's something George Clooney said in the making of documentary that I really have to disagree with, because he said, I think Bruce Wayne should be a bit more lighter, because, he shouldn't really be moping about his parents' death all the time. But the thing is, if he got over his parents' deaths, he wouldn't be Batman.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Yeah, I've got to disagree there.
I do as well. I mean, he seems to think, because he also says in the documentary, he goes, well, Keaton was great, and then Val Kilmer brought a darkness to the character that we'd never seen before, so I couldn't go anywhere else. And it's like, I'm not sure that... I really like Val Kilmer, but I'm not sure he brought the darkness. I'd argue Keaton did that more, but... Again,
it's like what the Honest Trailer said about Val Kilmer. He's not crazy like Keaton, charming like Clooney, buff like Affleck, intimidating like Bale, but his mouth is always open. Well, with Clooney, his head is always bobbing.
His head is always bobbing. I mean, because, I don't know, I think his voice generally sounds like a Batman voice, but he doesn't create a distinction between Bruce Wayne and Batman. Like, if you just heard him as Batman without hearing his Bruce Wayne, you think, yeah, that's a Batman voice, but you'd expect him to have different voices. How does... I'm still not clear how Poison Ivy gets created, really, in this.
I mean, it is a bit like the Joker in the first film. How does toxic chemicals turn you into a psychotic clown?
Yeah. Hello, Jason. So she's playing it.
I know.
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was just gonna say. I know for the fifth film, I think Schumacher did want to go into a darker direction again.
Yeah.
Because I think he wanted to bring on the Scarecrow.
Yes.
And have Harley Quinn be played by Madonna.
Yeah, and Harley Quinn was going to be like she was
the Joker's daughter.
Yeah, she was going to be related to Jack Nicholson's Joker, and she was going to like take revenge on Batman for killing him or something. And that was going to be one of the subplots. And then Jack Nicholson was going to make various cameos in like fear toxin sequences or something. I don't know.
I heard there were plans to have cameos for all the villains in the fear toxin.
Oh, that would have been cool. But yeah. I mean, would you have got? Tommy
I don't know what. I don't know what they would have. I've heard 3 titles for it. Like, I've heard Batman Unbound, Batman Unchained, Batman Triumphant.
Yeah, those are the 3 I've heard as well. So she's playing it like from a 40s noir film, like a... She's like a dame.
Femme fatale.
Yeah, she's like a femme fatale. Like, you know, she's playing it like that. Which is
all this happens because she looks on a bottle that says Wayne Enterprises.
Yes, yeah. Also, that footage of Bane is so clearly reused from earlier because you can see behind him. You can vaguely see the shapes of the people from earlier. Oh my god, this song!
I'm Mr. White Christmas.
I had as a kid a Christmas toy, and it was like a snowman, and you press the button, and he sung this. So every time I see this film or see that toy, I just think of bloody Arnold Schwarzenegger going, sing, sing, sing. So, louder. So is this...
And that woman there, she doesn't seem very cold, given that she's barely wearing anything.
Vivica, is that Vivica A. Fox? Is that her name?
I think so, I don't know.
I think she was...
How is he smoking a cigar?
Yeah. Wouldn't that, like, kill him, considering it's kind of hot smoke?
Above 0?
Yeah.
Yeah, he can't live in temperatures above 0. When the comics, he was called Mr. Zero, but it was the Adam West show that actually called him Mr. Freeze.
And actually, the Adam West show, the episodes with Mr. Freeze are some of my favourites because they had 3 actors, and the one guy, his catchphrase is "Viled Batman," and he just goes around shouting "Viled, Viled." So that's one of the most.
I know one of them is. I know one of them is George Sanders, who voiced Shere Khan in the Disney Jungle Book film.
Yes, he is. Yeah, there was 3 of them, and I can't remember. And they had wildly different designs as well, because the one had like bright orange eyebrows. The one was just a guy in a kind of Iron Man looking suit. So they had very different.
Well,
designs.
there were 3 Catwomans as well, weren't there?
Yeah. And I kind of like that they just didn't. They had no. Considering it was the 60s, they didn't really care about race or anything. They just cast Eartha Kitt, and you know, it's very clearly meant to be the same Catwoman as the other 2 actresses. So I think it was kind of cool that they just didn't really care about the race or anything. Didn't care to really explain it or mess with continuity or whatever.
This is the animated series obviously invented the idea of no freeze, and it's a great idea because Batman knows where his parents are. They're no longer there. But Mr. Freeze has it an even harder way because she's stuck in limbo.
Yeah, exactly. She's like there but not there at the same time. It's really good. I know that one of the DLCs for Arkham Knight actually, she got out of there and she got to live. I can't remember now. I think she got to live like her last moments with Mr. Freeze, and that was kind of the ending of his story for the games. It was in one of the DLCs, and they sort of end their story looking out at the snow and stuff, which was quite cool.
Here comes Alicia Silverstone all the way from England without a British accent.
She's pretty terrible in this.
Hook me up, Uncle Alfred.
Uncle Alfred. I can kind of defend a lot of aspects of this film because I'm just like, I can go with it. But this, she's not very good. She's so wooden in this, and she just doesn't. She doesn't fit in the film.
She didn't even know that a Batgirl existed until she got the part.
Yeah, there's that famous clip of her going, I didn't know that there was a Batgirl. And it's like, oh, okay, that's helpful. Both my parents were killed in a car accident. And
they just try and shoehorn all this shit in, but it doesn't work.
I think we said a few...
You've got Robin, wanting to be free of Batman. You've got, Batgirl, Mr. Freeze, Poison Ivy. It just doesn't work. There's too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah, and I think we spoke about it. It was either in the last one or the one before, but we said I think Batgirl needs a film like Robin had in Batman Forever, where a large chunk of the film is about her becoming Batgirl, like how Robin had.
Yeah, here it's just. Here she just stumbles into the Batcave and she's instantly Batgirl.
She needs her own story and she needs to be the focus of the film. And
don't have a sleep with Batman though.
Yeah.
Ugh.
This film does kind of flirt with the idea of family and the Bat family and building that up, but it's just kind of again, because there's a lot of things competing for your attention, it never really comes to its full potential.
Like at the end when they all put their hands together and say partners, what is this, Power Rangers?
Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like, we've got, like you were saying, there's so much in this, and either one of these stories could be really, really good to explore in a full film, but because there's so much, it just kind of... Lots of things just disappear into the background, unfortunately.
Plus, Mr. Freeze and Poison Ivy, their motivations are completely incompatible.
Yeah. It's, I think, don't they get around it by saying, oh yeah, Mr. Freeze will freeze it, and then when all that ice is melted, Poison Ivy will start a new world, but it's like, right, well, won't Mr. Freeze want more then? It's like...
It's like Venom and Sandman teaming up in Spider-Man 3. It makes zero sense.
You want to kill this?
I want to kill this.
Oh, God.
Well, actually, no, I don't. I want to provide for my sick daughter, but whatever.
That's where I think the editor's cut of that film improves it somewhat, because they add in a scene where Sandman goes and visits his daughter, and he goes, I promise he won't stop me again. So it's kind of like he's trying to get him out the way. But in the theatrical cut,
I think I'm just thinking, across the Raimi trilogy, I think he's the only villain that survives.
Yeah, he is, because the rest all die by their own hand.
They all commit suicide.
The blade that pierced his body came from his trailer. No, glider. I love those bloopers. Poor guy can't get his line right. Came from your gilder.
Imagine if Alfred said, "Oh, by the way, your parents weren't killed. They had an accident." You mean I was Batman for nothing?
I've seen things in this house I've never spoken of. Conveniently.
Like that video with the two girls and the one cup.
Unusual suspect, nice.
Yep.
Lots of
again, Gotham City now looks like a studio.
Yeah, it does. And that's one that I think Gossip
And also you've got the
Gertie.
observatory that's on that weird statue. It's just so
Yeah,
weird.
do they walk up through the arm or something? How did they get to it? It's weird. Oh, here we go. Here,
Why is he wearing a
I
hat
know,
and a
it's so
trench
weird.
coat?
Stop.
Stop.
Yeah, how do you get
Yeah,
up to
like
that?
that.
Do you go through the arm? Like, is the no? That doesn't work. It's weird. It's a striking image though, and again, it's like,
Hmm.
again, this is this is the most gay superhero film ever made. When statues of perfectly sculpted men, so align the city, and yeah,
Hmm.
this is easily the gayest superhero film ever made, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah, I think it's
I think
cool.
it's kind
I
of
mean, yeah,
cool.
you've got bright colours. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, as you said, lots of statues,
I
close-ups of crotches and
yeah,
arses.
yeah, and I think in the same way that the second Nightmare on Elm Street is many people say the gayest horror film ever made. Um, I don't know. I think it's cool for the genre to sort of have that. Um, the film probably could have been probably could have done with being a bit better if
Hmm.
it's gonna hold that title. But
Plus, there she is again, Bob Kane's wife.
yeah, Gossip Gertie, good old Gossip Gertie, coming
Hmm.
back from forever.
Also, this is the only
Ooh.
out of the four anyway. This is the only Batman film out of the first four where the love interest doesn't play a huge role.
Yeah, which is quite refreshing, I think. Because
Yeah, I think so too.
especially because forever the love story in that was so sort of unnecessary. It's kind of cool that we
Hmm.
don't have. I mean, I guess it's kind of replaced by the love triangle because of the whole love dust thing. But
And also, what is it? You've got Chase Meridian was saying sex puns in that film. Now you've got Poison Ivy doing
yeah.
it. I'll help you grab your rocks.
I got everything you see and everything you don't. Oh god.
Oh god, she deserves your loyalty and protection.
She's quite like
But
they've kind of they've transformed her quite well for this disguise. It doesn't look much like Uma Thurman at all. Um,
yeah, because for me, it just seems like they're trying to copy Selena Kyle from Batman
yeah,
Returns.
yeah,
Have her be the mild-mannered woman, then when she puts on a costume, she's a psycho.
yeah, yeah. That's right.
Yeah, the cinematography here looks really
It does.
flat.
Yeah, it looks very, very flat.
Yeah, as if you can tell they rushed it to get it out. In fact, I
Yeah,
think they finished 2 weeks before schedule.
that's
Finished filming at least.
yeah, that's quite. It's quite telling, really.
Plus, I think the bright colours in this do look good, but the problem is I just don't think it suits Batman.
No, yeah, but then again, it's just it's like what Patrick Willem said in his video. It's just one of those things
Hmm.
where it's like it's a different take. It is what it is. It is very much the '60s campy vibe that they're going for.
Hmm.
And it's just yeah, I don't know. It is what it is, isn't it?
Hmm.
I'm happy. I really am happy because a lot of other with the Superman films, for example. Now that we're into the era of 4K and studios are releasing a lot of their old films on the format and stuff, I'm kind of shocked and happy that they released the Schumacher films at the same time as the Burton films on 4K and they gave them equal treatment. And
They did, yeah,
yeah,
because you can only get Batman and Batman Returns, I mean, in the UK anyway, individually on
yeah,
Blu-ray.
exactly. So I'm glad that they're starting to give them equal treatment. Even with the Superman films, they've still not remastered the Superman sequels in 4K. It's only the first one they've done. So even that, you know, Warner Brothers is definitely seeing picking what sells the
Yeah,
best.
the only way you can get 2, 3, and 4 on Blu-ray is in the anthology box
Yeah,
set,
which is surprising. But then
and the only way
again,
you can see the Richard Donner cut.
yeah, and that thing as well. I'm pretty sure there's something where Richard Donner refused to have on the same disc the Richard Donner cut and the
Oh,
theatrical cut or something. Like they had to be separate, and then that was kind of worked out for the box set. But even
he
then,
doesn't even refer to. He doesn't even refer to Richard Lester by name. He's just like, I was fired off
yes,
Superman 2, then I know that someone else came along and did the film.
yeah. There's that clip. I think in the introduction or something, he goes, "Oh, someone came in. I'm forgetting his name now on purpose," and it's like, I
Like,
love,
you don't have to be that.
yeah.
You don't have to be that bitter because Lester was only doing what
He was
the
doing his
Salkinds
job.
wanted him to do.
Yeah, he was just
Yeah,
doing his job. It wasn't, and Richard Lester gets a really bad rap from people.
he can do good film. Yeah, a bit like Schumacher, just because. Yeah, a bit like Schumacher, he gets a bad rep for when he does superhero films.
Yeah.
But I've seen A Hard Day's Night. I've seen his Musketeer films, and the
Mm.
guy is talented.
Edgar Wright said Richard Lester was a big influence on him. So, right, this scene, this is where it goes full homoerotic.
On gay.
Like it's so. This whole scene just launches the film
Also, the
into.
unusual when Spider-Man makes his appearance with Gwen Stacy in Spider-Man 3, he says,
Oh yeah.
well, the unusual suspect says, this reminds me of another superhero film that
Yeah.
was critically panned, Batman and Robin.
Oh god. To be honest, Tobey Maguire with eyeliner and hair gel in at the moment wouldn't look out of place. Just imagine him striding onto the stage, dancing away. Wouldn't look out of place in this bit at all.
He should be one of these dancers going, now dig on this.
Find some shade. That's up next.
He'd walk up to Batman and probably say, you're trash, Batman.
You want forgiveness? Get religion.
What does that even mean?
I don't care, but I love it. So I kind of can't believe that they got someone as high profile as Uma Thurman to wear this giant pink gorilla suit and come out of it like this. It's so like
Oh yeah, she is in
she's in and
this.
she takes the head off and there's Uma Thurman, and it's like, wow, this is a film where Uma Thurman's doing a sexy striptease out of a gorilla outfit. a pink gorilla outfit.
I know
no less.
in the animated series she wears outfits quite similar to this, but
Yes.
in some scenes she doesn't wear any green tights.
Yeah, it's
They
weird.
just draw her naked legs, and I'm like, this is a kids show,
Yeah.
right?
There's one episode where she's basically just in nothing at all. I think it's in Almost Got Him when she's
Yeah.
telling the story, and she's in very little clothes in the flashback scenes. Even the choice of song as well. This whole scene is just a delightful, massive, just what
Well,
the
it's
hell is
another
happening?
example of it being padded as hell. Just like,
Yes,
get on
what
with
the hell
it.
is happening? And she's doing the dance, and it's like it's so like they're going for it, and it's you just
This is like some kind of Batman porn
yeah,
parody.
exactly because of the music, and oh, I really hope they had a crash mat down there or something in case those dancers just dropped her.
Yeah.
Because look at them, they're all like
Christ, those dancers look like.
soaked.
Yeah, it looks like they're wearing
Yeah,
nothing.
like soaked in gold glitter, and it's like you've walked on to the set of like a stripper film or something. And what are those? What's that makeup that they're all wearing? Those audience members. Oh,
Schumacher probably slept with all of them.
That one there looks like the bloody those things from the Underwater Menace, the sea people. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know if you
yeah.
caught that. It's like a blink and you'll miss it person in the background in this pink leotard going, "Whoa!" Oh my god, the host as well, and you are. Ah, this
Also, we've got
film.
the back credit card coming up here.
Never leave the cave without it.
I'm actually going to say it, but and it's probably going to piss so many people off, particularly those who love Batman v Superman, but I don't care. The Martha scene in Batman v Superman is worse than the back credit card.
I agree.
I went there.
I agree because the Martha scene.
This acknowledges that it's stupid,
Yeah.
but Martha, it acts like it's from the fucking Godfather.
The thing with the Martha scene is it could be really, really good and a really nice resolution to Batman's arc of learning that Superman is for want of a better phrase human, but it's so mishandled because they never bother to set up any contrast between Batman not killing and Batman realizing
Yeah, they're both
Superman's a
psychotic
human.
killers.
Yeah, there's no contrast to it. If Batman didn't kill in that film, and if he was going too far over the line, and then that was the resolution to his arc, going, this guy has a mother, it'd be brilliant. But it never does any of that. So as it is, there's a reason why people mock it. This is a 5-second scene in a two-hour film. The Martha scene basically defines their arc. That's the difference. This is like a blink and you'll miss it thing. Here we go. And I like the fact that it says expired good through forever. It's no expiration date.
Yeah.
Oh, here he is. Cool party.
I say that every time I leave a party.
Yeah.
Cool party.
Chill. I do quite like the thing coming up in a minute where she tries to sort of seduce him with the love dust and it doesn't work. I quite like that
Yeah.
because it kind of puts them on equal footing.
But she has. Why does she Yeah, it shows why does she turn off the plug for Nora Freeze? Is it because she wants Mr. Freeze?
I think it's supposed to be that she's going to deceive. She's literally. I think the plan is she's going to use Mr. Freeze to get rid of all the world's population and stuff, and then she's going to just get rid of him and do her own thing and be sort of the ruler. But it's. I'm not really sure why getting rid of. I'm sure there are easier ways to do that than getting rid of his wife, but. He didn't even swing off that vine. He just jumped and the vine followed
It was
him.
just pulled up like, ugh.
Plant girl. Garden gal.
Plant Girl is probably the lamest name for a superhero slash villain ever.
Well, yeah. I mean, squirrel girl, but that's kind of meant to be ironic, so. That's my execute. I use that as well. In every day when I'm about to leave something, I go, that's my execute.
Good night.
I quite like that bit.
Plus you can hear some blatant cartoon sound effects in this, like, whip!
Yeah. I am really shocked they didn't go the full way and put all the text on the screen and stuff, like the Biff Bam Pow.
Yeah.
I'm honestly surprised they didn't do that. I don't know if you've noticed this. The way they shoot Poison Ivy in medium close-ups, they shoot it so her costume is just out of the frame, so it looks like she's got nothing on. Have you ever noticed that? It's like every time there's a medium close-up of her, they shoot it very, very carefully so that her costume can't be seen. Why doesn't Bane... Okay, there we go. He's removing it now.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Monkey work! And now we've got another statue. Like, how did this get planning permission? This just messes everything up.
Well, it's just in the way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Actually, that was quite cool. Did you see that building there? It looked identical to the window that the Riddler chucked what's his face out of in Batman Forever. I don't.
Oh, Wayne Enterprises.
Yeah. I don't think it was Wayne Enterprises, but the window looked identical to it.
Mm-hmm.
But Wayne Enterprises.
Oh, we've got that stupid.
Yeah, go on.
We've got that stupid. Coming.
This is the CGI doesn't look great on the cars here.
Yeah, because they look like toy cars.
Yeah, they don't have much texture to them. I think for the most part, the CGI kind of it holds up, but the cars don't look too good.
Well, there's some really dodgy blue screen coming up in a bit when Batgirl's hanging off the bridge.
Yeah, that's the worst.
And Robin catches her.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if that was done really late into the shoot, because the background plate is really dodgy and the colours don't match at all. That whole chase.
Well, Chris O'Donnell has said there were so many scenes in this film where I was like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were so many scenes in this film where I was like, I don't remember doing that. And I think because there was quite a lot of second unit stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that's clearly not Mr. Freeze in that car then either. It wouldn't surprise me if a lot of this was second unit. I mean, because I don't know, that whole bike chase in a minute is for as much as I enjoy this film, that's the one point where I'm like, okay, I'm tuning out now because it's just so out of place.
What did he do to him under that cape?
He just covers him and just shows him off to the camera. And it looks like he's dead. It looks like he's dead because he's not moving. And his eyes are open. Like, his eyes are, like, dead.
Mm-hmm.
That's a cool shot with his eyes, like, lit up in the Batmobile. I mean, it lasts for all of 5 seconds, but it's cool.
And it's just the thing is, every time Clooney talks in the Batsuit, his head just goes over the top like Bob, Bob, Bob.
It's like, I've got an Adam
Well,
West.
I think because he is...
Yeah, go on.
I think because he's trying to act his way in it, because he said it weighed about 60 pounds.
Yeah. I've got a Adam West bobblehead, and it reminds me of this. This is the...
Because I noticed his...
Yeah, go on.
His eyebrows on the bat cowl, it kind of looks like really mad.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Val Kilmer was... He kind of hid the fact that he couldn't turn his neck. Move his head, rather. George Clooney... There's so many points in this film where he turns his whole body and it's so obvious, whereas I think Kilmer hid that a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think this is the line that's coming up earlier that Alfred says about Batman. It's a really good line. It's coming up in a minute, I think. Yeah. Death and chance stole your parent. It's really cool. It kind of sums up Batman, this whole bit.
Yeah.
To control their fates and stuff. Yeah. What is Batman if not an effort to master the chaos that sweeps our world? That is so cool. That's a really great line. And the control death and his response here, where he just says, "Well, I can't, can I?" All this kind of comes...
It's probably the best scene in the film.
Yeah, it's great. All of it kind of feels like something out of Mask of the Phantasm or something. Like that shot there of like the flashbacks being through the window. That's quite a cool sort of stylistic choice of having it not flashback fully, but I quite like that.
I know coming up in the bike race here, you actually see Droogs from A Clockwork Orange.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah, you do. Because I think in Britain it was banned until the year 2000, but I think people could see it in America.
Yeah, it was put on the Videos Nasties thing, wasn't it?
It was known as a Video Nasty.
bloody video nasties. Evil Dead was one of those as well, wasn't it? There was so many of them. There was just like, and The Exorcist, and thank God we're kind of out of that era. I mean, the BBFC just did their annual report. They just published it in the last few days. Joker was apparently the most complained about film last year.
That doesn't surprise me, because I watched it again. I watched it again recently, and yeah, there was quite a few bits in it that I missed the first time.
Yeah, I need to give it
which
another watch.
I noticed again.
I watched it twice in the cinema. I need to give it another watch now that it's out on Blu-ray. But
yeah, because I remember actually when it got to the bit where Arthur Fleck said to Thomas Wayne, "You're my father," I thought, really? Like, they're saying the Joker is Batman's forgotten brother, like that silly thing Inspector. But then I realised, it's all part of his
delusion. Yeah,
it's part of his head, an illusion, because he says, "My life is nothing but a comedy," when everything in his life is a tragedy.
Yeah, I don't know. All of that though. On the second viewing of Joker, I was kind of like, all of this just feels a bit. It feels like a build up to the climax. And like just a long sort of, I was kind of twiddling my thumbs, waiting for the Joker, for the Joker to become the Joker. But I don't know. I need to give it another watch. Also, this cold beam thing. I think he's quite creepy when he turns around in a minute and his eyes are like all bloodshot and stuff. I think that's quite creepy. But it's just the fact that beam is so small. Yeah, like when he turns around, it's quite cool. But the beam's so small, it's like there's no way that he'd have to enter that one part of the room, and when he immediately steps out of it, he's immediately like dying and stuff. It's very.
Because in the animated series, his whole cell is basically an ice box.
It is, yeah.
There's ice everywhere.
Did they shave Arnold's head for this, or did he wear a bowl cap with the makeup put on over it?
I think it was a bald cap, because I've seen interviews when he was promoting it and he had a full head of hair. So
fair enough then.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess he wore a bald cap. I don't think even for $25 million he wouldn't have shaved his head.
Right, so this whole Turkish bath thing is odd as well. This whole...
it's the coloured folks from Batman Forever.
It was only actually on my last viewing a few months ago that I know this is probably going to make me sound really, really stupid, but it was only my last viewing that I caught that this whole thing that she breaks into is meant to be the lair that she sets up later. For years, it's just sort of gone over my head. But I guess I just wasn't paying attention to it. Engage turbo mode.
Oh, get on with it.
Yes.
It's like in Monty Python. Yes, get on with it.
Oh, did you hear those sound effects then where he threw them back?
Oh yeah, there it is. Mm-hmm.
Whew! And I like that those chains don't seem to... they seem to be ever bright green depending on the light. But it doesn't... The neon stuff, the rest of this seems like... Yeah, obviously it's the light casting on it, but those chains just seem so ever present. She goes British in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Grow for mummy. I don't know. It's
sounds like Missy from Doctor Who. Cyber dears, look at mummy.
He's my boyfriend. The CGI vines look very 90s CGI. They look like a Phantom Menace kind of CGI. A cool customer with an icy demeanor. I wonder who she could be talking about.
Penguin. Well, originally, apparently, when she was supposed to break Mr. Freeze out of Arkham Asylum, you were supposed to see past Batman villains looking by from their cells.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the only one you could see is the Riddler, because Joker, Penguin, and Two-Face are dead, and Catwoman is still on the loose,
Yeah.
presumably.
Well, I like that they just never follow that Catwoman thing. But that's the thing. This series, they kind of killing off all the major villains is, I don't know.
Well, the Spider-Man trilogy
I was
kind
gonna
of
say
took
yeah,
influence from that. Yeah, every villain dies.
I mean, yeah, because Spider-Man 1 and Tim Burton's Batman have the same thing where they kill off probably the most important villain for the hero.
Yeah.
But at least in Spider-Man they use that as part of the arc, and they use that for drama of Peter having to live with the fact that his best friend hates him, but he doesn't realize it and stuff.
Yeah, because in the Nolan trilogy, Ra's al Ghul, Bane, yeah, because they keep a few. Actually, I think Joker and Scarecrow, they're the only ones that are still alive.
Yeah, they're meant to.
In the Nolan films.
What does happen to Bane? I can't.
Oh, he gets shot by the bike.
Oh
by
yeah,
Catwoman.
Yeah, but would that kill him? Because he just sort of goes. They shoot him and he
just sort of goes back.
It's so presumably
because I know for
there.
Yeah, apparently though they were going to give a death scene to Jonathan Crane in The Dark Knight Rises, but I don't think they ever got around to shooting it. Or
that's a shame.
Because you just see him as the judge in the Kangaroo Court, and then that's it. But I think he's great in that role. So what'll it be? Death or exile?
Death by exile. It's cool. I kind of like how they kept bringing him up as cameos and stuff.
You see Coolio here, don't you?
Yes, so we had Vivica A. Fox earlier, and now we've got Coolio. Just in case you thought it couldn't get more 90s.
Yeah, they're so 90s, these films, it's unbelievable. Oh, there are the Droogs, yeah, there they are.
Oh god, yeah, there they are. Do they have... Oh, that's bizarre.
And I've just noticed this now, but interestingly enough, their groin pads are black. That was the color. That was the color they were wearing in the book, but not the film.
So they went to the effort of
Schumacher got something right over Stanley Kubrick.
Bloody hell! Yeah, there's this whole thing. I always just tune out of all this stuff because it's just so sort of irrelevant.
Yeah, because she's just like, oh, my parents died in a car accident, and you're like, you just don't really care because we've just met you.
Exactly.
Because unlike Robin, we actually meet him through this tragedy,
yeah.
So that's how we sympathise and feel sorry for him.
That's what I mean. There's just no time to actually make her a character.
Yeah, it's like Rise of Skywalker. There's no emotional attachment. God. There's just a bunch of stuff. It's just a bunch of stuff happening.
Rise of Skywalker was such a bloody disappointment, man.
Yeah.
I don't hate the film. It's just, and there's a lot I really like in it. Like, there's a lot of stuff which is punch the air, great, but there's just so much of it. I'm just like, it was a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
It's a shame. It's a big shame. Because I was one of the people who were like, I was sequel trilogy defender, and I still am for those first two. But then the third one came out, and I'm just
because I remember, because Force Awakens and Last Jedi, when they came out on Blu-ray, I was like the first to get them on the first day. Rise of Skywalker's been out for months, and I've just not bothered.
Me neither. I'll get it eventually, but there's no... I mean, it's just... I still think Force Awakens and Last Jedi are great, especially Last Jedi.
Me too, yeah.
Especially Last Jedi. It's
Despite
just
the internet, despite the internet constantly telling me it's the worst movie
yeah.
ever made objectively, and I'm a Disney shill, SJW, NPC, other anagram, acronym name that you can call me
So stupid,
for
isn't it?
liking it.
Is that in LA? Is that those bridges in LA that they just with that water they just went through?
It could be.
Bloody hell! That didn't look like Gotham. But no, yeah, yeah. The whole discourse surrounding the sequel trilogy has been really painful, to be honest.
Yeah. I think when Chris O'Donnell said, I don't remember doing that. I think he did. I think he was referring to these scenes here because he's on the bike, but I don't think it was Chris O'Donnell. I think it might have been a
It
stuntman.
wouldn't surprise me. This whole, I mean, like I was saying earlier about how it looked like they'd just gone to the bridges in LA and just filmed any old bollocks. This whole thing just feels like, yeah, shit. We kind of had this scene that we need to do, but we've not got much money and we've not got much time.
It's that wildfire from Game of Thrones. It's green.
And you can see in the other shot they hold on it for just a bit too long, and you can see the green disappearing and becoming normal fire again. Yeah, this background plate here looks terrible when she's hanging off it.
Yeah, they're sliding quite for a long time as well.
Someone's greased the bridge. Yeah, here we go.
That looks so bad.
Yeah, why is it shaking? It's shaking so much.
This was 10 years after Superman 4. I thought we'd learned from those mistakes.
She's so made the pain go away. She's just she's not very good in this. She could be good.
I know the media were criticizing her because she apparently she was putting on weight.
Yeah, she gained weight or something. The media were after her.
Because I think she did suffer from an eating disorder.
Yeah, I think she did. She's not really doing.
And Joel Schumacher, God bless him, he defended it. It was like, what's this girl's biggest crime? That she put on a bit of weight like the rest of us do from time to time.
Bless him, man.
Yeah.
The media were just heartless bastards. Oh look, she's a human.
Yeah. Well, it's their job.
Yeah. Last thing I've seen her in was, well, I didn't see it, but I knew she was in the fourth Diary of a Wimpy Kid film. I knew that. That's probably the last thing she did. She didn't really.
She was in Scooby-Doo too.
She was, yeah. She was the main villain in that, wasn't she?
Yeah, but it turns out that she was wearing that the main villain was wearing her face as a disguise.
Oh god,
those films.
I really wish one day. I mean, it will never happen because it was never filmed. But I really wish that we could get to see the R-rated version that James Gunn was apparently shooting for that first one.
Well, it was Roger Gosnell who shot them, didn't he?
Yeah, but he wrote them. James Gunn apparently.
Yeah, he did.
Apparently, the cast signed on expecting it to be like an R-rated parody, kind of. But
yeah, Shaggy was going to be a stoner.
Yeah,
Velma a lesbian.
I mean, Velma is canonically gay now, isn't she? They've confirmed it now.
Yeah.
I know that in the actual final cut, they did have to CGI over Sarah Michelle Gellar's cleavage. Because apparently, and in fact, I think Linda Cardellini as well. I think because they were shooting some of those scenes for a more adult audience, and they had to CGI over it because they were
because it's so weird.
Much.
There's some lines in that film where it's like that belongs in an R-rated film.
No, it's weirdly horny, that film. They're very interesting films, I think, just because of how you can see what they were originally meant to be. But it's kind of at war with itself. Like some of it is genuinely quite funny. Yeah,
because there's a few. I think the second film's better because it feels more like a Scooby-Doo film, like a parody of it. Because a lot of the designs and monsters, they're from the cartoon, which is cool. And there's some funny lines in there, like when they get trapped in that weird prison when they go to that old man's house, and you've got Girl Scout cookies and those newspaper sellers, something like that.
Yeah, and they do the thing where they fall through, and Scooby Doo's just like, floating in the air that you see in cartoons where he's like not falling, and there's the Riddler and Two-Face
suit there.
Ooh, that's a detail I always forget about. Genuinely, I always forget about that. And is that meant to be like?
I'd love to see every Batman villain's imprisonment based on the scene from A Clockwork Orange when Alex is convicted. I'm able to see the white line directly behind you, Mr. Freeze. Yes. Then your icy toes belong on the other side of it!
I don't know if you caught that either, but there was a giant clock in that room there next to the Riddler and Two-Face.
Oh.
Was that meant to be a reference to the Clock King, do you think?
Maybe, yeah.
I've just picked up on that now. Let's cool it.
Well, I heard for the third film, one of the villains that considered was actually the Mad Hatter. And he was going to be played by Rowan Atkinson.
That would have been spectacular.
Yeah.
A laundry service that delivers. That was a Star Wars white transition then. That was a bit out of place, wasn't it? Doesn't fit with the rest of the film. I also like that Poison Ivy's gloves seem to have painted on nail varnish.
Yeah.
Like the tips of her fingers are pink for some reason.
I'll help you grab your rocks.
Bane!
I just realised the Amazing Spider-Man 2's villains are quite similar to these.
Yeah.
You've got a blue villain, a green villain, and a buff villain who's really dumb.
Oh god, that's actually true. I am the Rhino!
I told you I would be back.
I told you I'd be back. Oh, we just...
Look, New York, Spider-Man is back!
That film is mostly trash, but I must admit I do really like the bit where the little kid tries to be Spider-Man. I think that's quite nice.
I don't mind ASM 2. I actually think it's alright.
There's a lot of stuff I really enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of stuff like when he's helping the kid who's getting bullied and stuff, and basically when he's just swinging around.
That's great.
Yeah, when he's just swinging around doing Spider-Man stuff, the film's amazing. But when it actually gets to the story, it's not very good. So we've just missed one of my favourite lines from Uma Thurman. Then it's when she goes, "Reinforced steel, not good," and her voice seems to be getting higher and higher. And also, when she goes, "You never mentioned anything about a wife," it's the only time she actually seems to break character. Like, she just seems to break the whole,
so
"You never mentioned anything about a wife."
Is that a problem?
And also, the fact that Mr. Freeze calls Bane Mr. Bane. You're one step away from Mr. Bean.
I hope Mr. Bean can swim.
Not all heroes wear masks. That's another good line. There's flashes of brilliance in the dialogue. Who wrote this? Was it Akiva Goldsman?
Akiva Goldsman.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where the cinematography looks quite naff. All of this just looks.
Yeah, it looks
so
like
flat.
a Saturday morning. It's like a Saturday morning live action kid show.
It just looks very. It looks like a set from. I don't care. No, I love that. I love that's so cartoony. Oh, here's a witness photo of them, and it's just a full-on near close-up of them trying to disguise themselves coming off an old Casablanca style plane. I love it. That's just so. Okay, so here's more sex jokes.
Mm-hmm.
What does he say? Yeah, here we go. Great stems.
Great stems.
Those are nice. Who plays Nora Freeze or Fries, however you say her name? Freeze.
I don't know,
I kind of
but
recognise
yeah,
her.
calling her Thrice.
That was from
Calling her
Gotham.
Thrice, that's what they're called in Gotham,
Yeah, I
yeah.
don't know why they didn't. I guess they thought it would be too silly or something. That's a cool shot with like with Robin in shallow focus and everything. The score here sounds like Raimi Spider-Man.
Yeah, it does a little bit, yeah.
Where's the red lighting coming from there? Oh, I guess it's just to
No idea.
represent the heat.
Also, some of these cops, they fall down and the gas is not even touching them.
My lungs are freezing.
Like the one over there next to the red tape.
Oh, and Gordon gets gas. This is probably... Gordon is no presence in this film until later on when Poison Ivy gets to him, but...
I am the police commissioner.
No, I'm not old.
How they get away?
Just the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast reference. When I first watched this, I thought Bane threw him into chemicals, but it's just mint chocolate chip ice cream?
Yeah, it's not... It's weird, isn't it? I mean...
Yeah. Is he going to turn into Joker Robin?
Yeah, he's gonna lick himself clean.
Mm-hmm.
SpongeBob style. Oh, here we get the most blatant case of advertising ever, and it's so shameless. That's why every Poison Ivy action figure comes complete with him. Did that happen? Did they do?
Yeah, I don't know.
With the toys?
Because I know they did toys for those vehicles you see at the end.
Yeah.
And obviously Batman. And I think the silver outfits you see of Batman and Robin.
Yes, I think they did, yeah. They did a lot of variants of the suit, didn't they?
Chris O'Donnell even said, why am I wearing a different suit now? And he was just told, don't question it. There it is, yeah. Every Poison Ivy action figure comes complete with him.
Also, she does a proper maniacal laugh then. Ha 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 ha. Reminds me of the... Oh my god! Did you notice that? Did you notice Bane's fingers then were, you could see it was just a printed spandex suit. The texture was really low resolution, and you could see the crease in the fabric as he moved his fingers. I have never noticed that before. Wow, that's super cheap. That probably means that wasn't actually the guy who played Bane then. That was probably just a pickup shot.
Some stuntman they got.
Yeah, and just put a bloody leotard on him. God, that was weird.
Oh, they all fall down like dominoes. Yeah. Like, really?
Also, there was a
most incompetent police force ever.
Bit of a self-aware line a minute ago when Poison Ivy went, "There's something about an anatomically correct rubber suit." Like, it's kind of a little bit self-aware, kind of. Because it's important to note that the nipples on the suit in this are more their actual nipples than where the Forever ones were just like vague circles. These have detailed nipples.
How come Batgirl doesn't have nipples?
Yeah.
That's not fair.
Ooh. I don't know why that actually looked like it hurt then when he hit Bane with the thing. It actually looked quite hard.
Oh yeah.
Actually looked quite hard.
That statement is actually true.
Pardon?
Got some real issues with
Oh
women.
yeah, yeah.
Their fight there reminded me of the one from the In-Betweeners movie.
Oh yeah.
You had enough yet? Have you had enough yet? Alex first!
We're in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
Oh my god, can you imagine the in-betweeners in this film? They wouldn't need much love dust from Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
It's like one of Batman March videos. He referenced what class would have been like if the in-betweeners were in it instead of the cast of Class. It would have been a lot of fun, I imagine.
Oh god.
Oh fucking hell, it's an alien!
Fuck that, we're in serious trouble here. No, that flare's only for emergencies! Why the fuck did you do that? To get the space police out and say what? Help, we found an alien?
Neo proceeds to punch it to death.
Yeah. I think coming up here is the first Gotham and then the world!
Oh.
Someone, the Amanda Hagen, she did a review of Fear Her, and it was so funny because it had Chloe Webber during the stadium,
Yeah.
and then she says, so the small child who can't act decides to draw the stadium, and then it cuts to Mr. Freeze going, and then the world.
I haven't watched most of her stuff. I'll have to check that out.
I mean, if every RTD fanboy saw them, they'd probably explode.
God, I follow her on Twitter. Actually,
she hates the 10th Doctor. I mean,
oh yeah.
if you showed it to a mainstream fan, they would explode with anger.
I'll have to check that out then, because I mean, because I'm
her review for the End of Time is just completely epic.
Because I'm very much an RTT fanboy, but I'm also like I'm not one of those people who gets overly defensive about it. You know, like the people.
Yeah,
who just
same
like,
here. I love it too because it. Yeah, I love it too because it got me into Doctor Who, but I admit it's not perfect.
Yeah, I mean it's my Doctor Who, so it's all. I'm always gonna be like, in a way I can never dislike it really. But yeah, I'm not one of those people who are just like.
She did say all those people complaining at the Chibnall era for being not like the RTD era. Now you know how I felt when I was saying the RTD era is nothing like the classic series.
Yeah. We missed the CGI tier, didn't we? The CGI tier that looks quite terrible.
Oh yeah, that is terrible.
Could he not? Could they not get Schwarzenegger to cry?
No.
Animatronic there. That's quite a ropey-looking animatronic.
It's like the banjos from Time Lash.
Oh god, yeah. God, look at the way it's moving. It's literally just going back and forth.
The missile has been destroyed, but so has his TARDIS. We'll send an apology to the High Council of the Time Lord. I mean, my sock puppet looks more convincing than that.
Adam and Evil.
Oh god, yeah. I will freeze
Gotham!
Oh, you've still got those horses shagging the statue there in the entrance to Wayne Manor.
So his condition has appeared to worsen quite quickly. Considering the last time we saw him was about 10 minutes ago, and he was just sort of.
He was alright, yeah. Oh yeah, McGregor's syndrome. That's named after the producer Peter McGregor Scott.
Yeah. We're gonna name a fatal disease after you.
Well, you had Grimwade syndrome in Doctor Who.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. I like Clooney's performance in these bits where it looks like he's trying not to show any emotion. Like it looks like he wants to do something, but he's trying to hold it back. like just to keep up the act of having no emotion.
Yeah, Robin's just a whiny bitch in this.
Yeah, I mean, wait, I want her so badly I can taste it. um,
Did George Lucas write that line?
yeah, I do.
Are you an angel?
Oh god. Yes, I'm an angel. Love dust. um.
Imagine George Clooney and Uma Thurman doing those lines as Batman and Poison
Oh my
Ivy.
god.
You, you are Bob, 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 so beautiful. It's only because I'm so in love. No, Bob, Bob, Bob. It's only because I'm so in love with you, Bob, Bob.
Then love.
So love has blinded you.
Oh man. Anakin, you're breaking my heart.
Also, we didn't mention that they changed her backstory because in the comics and cartoons, she's Commissioner Gordon's daughter, but here she's Alfred's niece.
I
don't know why they changed it.
Again, it's this whole because, well, you would have actually had to make Commissioner Gordon a character in these films if they were going to do that, which there's no time for in this because it's so overstuffed as it is. So they kind of just had to get her in as quickly as possible. No.
Yeah, I think Gotham season 5 episode 11, before the whole 10 years later thing.
Yeah.
Doesn't it end with? Is his wife called Lee?
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, because he has 2 girlfriends in that, Lee and Barbara.
Lee and Barbara, yeah.
Yeah, because I think at the end of that episode, she says she's pregnant.
Oh, yeah, and it's implied to be... Yeah.
Obviously, in fact, the funny thing in Gotham is, I could be wrong, of course, I don't think there was a reference to the Graysons at all.
No,
I could be wrong.
Maybe it was one of those things that the Arkham games do, where there's like a poster for the Flying Graysons on the wall or something. I don't know. I can't remember there being an explicit reference. Oh, here we go. Here's where Gordon does the only productive thing he does in the whole 4 films.
The depressing thing is that this is the last Batman film Bob Kane saw.
Yeah. Why?
I wonder what he would have thought of the Dark Knight trilogy.
I think he would have liked it.
Also, Gene Siskel never saw any Batman films after this.
Oh, didn't he? Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, because he died only 2 years later after this.
Oh, damn, I didn't realise he died that.
Yeah, he died in 1999.
Gordon's voice becomes so like... Oh, dear lady. It sounds like he's about to die of a heart attack. Who are you, dear lady?
Oh, so that dust she's spraying, can people see it, or...
Yeah, it's not really...
Is it invisible?
Please, come back. It's not really made clear, is it? It's just... Presumably, if people could see it, people would be going, what the hell is that? Right? Like... Plus, I know it has to hit people for them to be affected, but the way it looks like a gas. It looks like people around them would also be affected by it. In my hands. I love the little noises
my
it makes.
hands.
I like how every time she tells him to destroy something, she keeps flicking that switch. It's like, if he's only useful when you have to press a button. I mean, I guess again, I think we said earlier, it's another one of the toy things, isn't it? Light and sound effects Bane. Press the button and he screams or something. I miss the the Bat CD player from the second one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's got the weakest password ever.
Yeah, is it Peg?
I really like this scene. It's a nice sort of quiet moment before everything goes back to being over the top.
Yeah.
Again, these lines are great.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's like he's got tears in his eyes, but he doesn't want to show it, kind of. It's cool. It's amazing that these kind of moments are in a film with that's so mental and over the top.
Mm-hmm.
England is one.
Yeah, it goes access granted.
But I don't know if you saw earlier. It said she had 2 tries left when she did the first 2, and it said it went down and down. Her failing all this time, that the computer would have just kicked her off by this point. Allowed. So is the computer a projector? Because it's projecting all this onto her face. Including an animated Batman and Robin logo. Which, speaking of, this film has a kind of post-credits scene.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, you know the animated logo from the start? It's like a sped-up version of that. Right at the end of the credits, you just get this sound effect and the logo appears. It's very weird. It's the size of your gun that counts. Another innuendo. With the whole Robin logo and everything, it feels like these filmmakers kind of wanted to do Nightwing, but Batman and Nightwing doesn't sound as profitable as Batman and Robin.
Well, yeah, because Chris O'Donnell said that a Robin spin-off was being planned.
Where would you have gone with that?
The Joel Schumacher cinematic universe.
Oh, these two are very... They look like they're having fun.
He's like, surprise! Is he? Does he say surprise?
I don't know.
Oh no, he says hi.
Hi!
Hi!
This is where Bane plants all the bombs and goes, BOOM! BOOM!
Christ.
Who is this nutball? I like she doesn't make an attempt to get out of the way or run. She just stands there. Yeah, here we go. Boom. Most overly designed bombs ever. They look like one of those like crappy little cheap desk lamps that you get from somewhere like Poundland or B&M or something. I don't know if you noticed that the light beam coming out of there was misaligned for a bit. The effect was misaligned to the hole. That's what I mean. There's a lot of this. It just feels very rushed and cheap to get it out and done. But then, like I said, there's a lot of money that's clearly been spent on sets like these and stuff. Have these lights ever been there before?
Yeah. Looks like you're in a big swimming pool.
Yeah, it does. I also like that they've Bruce Wayne's clearly taken the time to redesign a lot of his branding to include the Robin logo. A simulation.
Yeah. And created a virtual simulation. How?
It's weird, isn't it? It's like literally he's just created an artificial intelligence there. Silk me up,
there it is.
Alfred. So here we get a repeat of the. Yeah, that's an ass shot there. They've kind of got nipples on the suit, kind of. Just not pronounced.
Yeah.
Oh, I really like this shot, by the way, where he parks up in front of the Robin signal, and you just see like his silhouette. Where is it? It's coming up now.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks awesome. It's a really cool shot. So here we get, Poison Ivy dressed as a drag queen.
Rubber lips are immune to your charms.
But like her makeup and everything, it's so clearly inspired by drag. And again, it just adds to that homoerotic thing that this film is just loaded with. Like, look at all this, man. This is insanely lavish and yeah, like I said, it's they've gone to some effort to create this bright sort of. Honestly, it looks like something from a rejected musical number from Little Shop of Horrors. In fact, I'm surprised this film didn't do a musical number. It's one of the things that this film...
Feed me, Batman!
Mean Green Mother from Outer Space would actually take on a quite appropriate context here. Turning over a new leaf. Get it? That's such a dumb line that I love it. I need a sign. How about slippery when wet? It's such a dumb. Wouldn't she be able to tell that? The rubber doesn't look very thick either. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
He peels it off so easy. It looks like paper thin. And I like how her when this doesn't work, her default was just to push him into the water. She just sort of panics and goes,
You could just kiss him again because he's
exactly
right in front of you.
He's removed it, so just grab his head and.
Oh god, they reversed the footage and it looks so bad.
So many times. That's like a bloody Family Guy or Simpsons thing then, when her reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here she comes.
Mm-hmm.
You're about to become compost. It's just so, like, she's so... Wasn't it, the only reason Batgirl's included in this, wasn't it because...
There it
Yeah,
is, the
there we
reversing.
go. That looks so bad. Especially because the water
Mm-hmm.
seems to go back in on herself. It looks really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't Batgirl only get included in this because the studio received a lot of letters from young fans who wanted her included, and they were just like, "Yeah,
I think
put
so,
put
yeah.
this in," and it's like,
As I told Lady Freeze when I pulled her
yeah.
plug. Jesus Christ.
I know that it's Batman's supposed to have recorded that, but I like that he's recorded it from the angle of Batgirl's POV.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here we go. Here, curses. It's so like Saturday morning cartoon. Plus, how is that killing her? How is she defeated then? She was sat in the bloody thing when it was closed a minute ago. How is she dead? Or defeated or whatever happens to her. This is the last time we see her. That's not PC. So that line, "will kill her later," it's obviously supposed to be like, it's supposed to be like ironic, and it's supposed to be a bit of banter, isn't it? But Clooney plays it so disinterested that it doesn't come across that way.
Yeah, we'll kill her later.
It just comes across as he's genuinely going to kill her later on. Yeah, we'll kill her. You know, put some like, yeah, we'll kill her later. You know, like, if you're going to give a joke like that, just go for it. Oh, in a minute we get the dog frozen, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
In case you weren't aware that this was a kids' film, every kids' film has to have a joke about a dog pissing.
That's true.
It seems to be like a default for like. Oh, and a telephone joke. Yeah. Here we go. It's the bulldog.
Mm-hmm.
I like that there's a light in his mouth as well. His mouth seems to
Yeah.
be continuously lit. Oh yeah, okay. So here are the cars, and notice that Batgirl's now got a cowl on, and she looks very uncomfortable in it. Like,
Yeah, it just looks so... Yeah, look
it
at
doesn't
that.
fit her at all. And when it cuts to a close up in a
No,
minute,
it does not.
cuts to a close up in a minute, and she's just like, "Oh my god, I need to get out of this." They're there.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't fit her face. Her eyes are like halfway up the thing. It's supposed to be. I guess it's supposed to be like a bicycle helmet. But... What are these things even called? Like the bat, the bat hovercraft? I don't know. It's just
Bat
bat
bike.
bike. They look. I mean, wow. I say the thing that Batman's driving looks cool, but it's got those lights that look like disco lights on the side.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't mentioned the score yet either. Uh, Basically,
Yeah, the score's pretty good, I
yeah,
think.
I
Yeah.
don't really have much to say on it. Really, it's basically the same as Batman Forever's. It's just an extension of what he did on that. But I said before, I like Elliot Goldenthal's work on these films. They're just, yeah, and I appreciate that the two films are very consistent with the music.
Yeah, quite like the Burton films. They're pretty
Yeah,
consistent.
yeah. They carry over the themes and everything. Oh, that green screen then looked
There's
quite
so
terrible.
much. Also, there's so much grappling
Yeah,
in
there
this.
is. Grappling hook. Yeah, yeah. Grappling hooks that don't obey the laws of physics.
Hmm.
I wonder, do you think this is just repurposed from Val Kilmer's suit? Because the cowl looks exactly the same.
It does, yeah. It looks quite
Do you see what I
similar.
mean? It's got the same sort of shape of the ears. It looks like they just added bits to the old Val Kilmer suit and refitted it for Clooney.
Hmm.
Also, Robin's suit is exactly the same. It's just silver.
Hmm.
There's no differences. This whole climax seems very, I don't know, anticlimactic. Is that the word? Do you think? Because essentially, all it boils down to is messing about with a telescope.
True, yeah.
You know, it's not really. It
Oh,
doesn't feel like
God.
a final battle. It's just flicking around with telescopes.
Hmm.
Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still
Okay,
here.
cool.
Don't worry.
No, the Discord call just made a funny noise and your icon disappeared. So
That's
I
weird.
thought you disconnected for a minute. We're gonna have to redo the whole thing from scratch.
Please no.
Watch Batman and Robin on a loop for God knows how long it would take.
Plus, in the animated series, I think Robin and Batgirl, they weren't aware of each other's identities,
No, I don't think they were.
were they?
I can't remember. It's been a
Until I
while.
think, when Dick Grayson becomes Nightwing, I think that's
Yeah,
one of the reasons he
yeah,
falls out with Batman. Because obviously Bruce knew it was Barbara, but Dick
yeah.
didn't. It's one of
It's
those
one of
days.
those days.
freeze? How often does a freezing man attack
A
you?
lot, apparently.
Well, then again, every other day in Gotham, you've got a freak attacking the
Yeah, that's
city.
true. That's true. Diddly-doo, doo-doo. She looks like she was laughing then, the woman. She's having a good
Wouldn't
time
surprise me.
riding on the telescope. I like that those two are just dirty fighter. They're just reacting to the
Yeah, it's
fight.
like, yeah, it's like, get him, Batman. You too, Mr. Freeze.
Dirty fighter, dirty fighter. Yeah. Again, it seems like a Simpsons joke. It seems like
Yeah.
two Simpsons characters watching the fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Actually, no. Does Bane technically die here, or does he just lose
I
his
think he
venom?
just loses the venom, but I mean, I'm not sure what that would do to the human body. Suddenly losing all of your muscles.
Yeah.
Also, Bane's very easily, because usually in other adaptations it's quite hard to pull the thing out. In that,
Yeah, here it's just
they didn't. It didn't even look
the
like
heat is on.
the heat is on. They literally just kicked it slightly and it fell out and he was dead. He was just gone.
Mm-hmm.
It's very this. You all right down there?
Yeah.
Yeah. this climax as well is very stop-starty, isn't it? Like, okay,
Oh god,
okay, we've
yeah.
done. We and then the villains come back. Oh, we've defeated the villains. We're done. Okay, now we're done. It seems like it's constantly stopping and starting. I'm pretty sure thawing everything out like that would be kind of dangerous because you'd have giant blocks of ice falling from the skies and probably hitting a lot of people.
More or
You
less,
just
yeah.
get a lot,
Bombs away, Batman.
and it just sends him flying.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god. Okay, no, he is still alive then, because he was just squirming around
Yeah.
on the floor, going. "Ugh."
So yeah, this is the only one of the four Batman films when none of the villains die.
Yeah, I quite like the ending they have when she's just in the cell and he's like, "I'm gonna make your life a living hell." That's quite cool,
Hmm.
but it makes you wonder
I
what he
think
did with her.
also this film actually does have this in common with The Dark Knight. It's a film where none of the villains figure out Batman's identity.
That's a point, actually. Does that
Yeah, Joker and Two-Face never figure out
Yeah,
who Batman is.
that's a point. Because does that happen in Batman Begins? I guess yeah, because Ra's
Yeah,
al
Ra's
Ghul.
al
Yeah,
Ghul
yeah, yeah,
obviously knows who Batman is.
yeah.
Bane and Bane and Talia know who Batman is for The Dark Knight Rises, but yeah, Dark Knight, none of them know who Batman is.
That's cool. Like Batman v Superman, Lex Luthor knows about Bruce Wayne, doesn't he? Does he?
Somehow.
I can't remember. That film is
Yeah.
just nonsense.
Ugh.
You're saying thank you, but he's just left you at the bottom of this frozen.
Now, how do we get out
Yeah,
of
how
here?
do they get out? Yeah, this shot looks very incomplete. Like the smoke effect.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, and again, okay, so it's not working anymore. We've got to fix the satellites now.
Hmm.
See what I mean? It's just so stop-starty.
Yeah. Also, the way she said there's no way to follow the city, she sounded like she was half
She
asleep.
turns that she doesn't care about the city. The city. She's just like,
Hmm.
there's no way. No sign of the snowman.
Okay.
Maybe he melted. I'll tell you what it
Hmm.
sounds like. It sounds like Alicia Silverstone's really, really uncomfortable in the costume, and it's just like, can we get this scene done? I need to get out of this. Okay, so now we're done.
Finally.
And again, it just looks like spotlights in a club.
Hmm.
That guy in the phone booth then looked more like Commissioner Gordon than Commissioner Gordon does in these films. He
That's
had the
true.
moustache and everything. He looked like Jim Gordon.
Yeah, because this Commissioner Gordon feels more like Chief Wiggum.
How'd they get away? The
But
Riddler.
wait, if you, but wait, if you've saved the city, why did the observatory explode? Oh, I'll feel that one. Me and Batman were just celebrating a job well done when I accidentally threw my match into the vicinity of the crime scene. Oh, right, the gas.
Yep, definitely suicide. Again, I really like this scene where he says anyone can take a life to give life. That's true power.
How the fuck did he
Yeah,
record
how the hell
this?
did he? And it's from the same angle that we saw it as well. I hate that in films.
Yeah.
Oh!
Ah.
restored her. She lives. I think Arnold's quite good there as well. He says she lives. He's quite. Yeah, vengeance isn't power. Anyone can take a life to give life. That's true power. That's a great line. That's another brilliant little bit. And I like that Mr. Freeze kind of redeems himself.
Yeah, but it just doesn't feel earned because he's just been a cartoonish bad guy saying nothing but one-liners.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Buried deep beneath the snow. Again, this is all stuff. I don't know. This whole bit, if you took the same lines and put them into an episode of the animated series, I don't think it would feel out of place.
Possibly, yeah.
I like the little pop-up thing as well. That they're just constantly in his arm.
That can fit perfectly into into the IV,
the IV
thingy.
thing. Whatever they're called. It very much feels like Mr. Freeze's story has come to a kind of natural end as well. Like, it feels like if the series had gone on and on, I don't think we would have seen him again.
Mm-hmm. Also, he's back in his Red Robin suit. Where did the silver one go?
That makes no sense.
That's just weird.
I quite like... and why is Batgirl not in her outfit? She had time to change, the others didn't. I quite like this. It's pretty dark, actually, considering the rest of this film.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite... He's kind of creepy in a way, really.
Mm-hmm.
Winter has come at last.
Probably the only time he comes across as creepy.
I think this would have been a different film had they gone with the plan of like using Patrick Stewart or one of the other people they were discussing. I like there's just pizza on the table. It looks like they've had a night partying. Like there's clothes everywhere. There's a pizza there. Well, Alfred might die, but let's party.
Mm-hmm. Also, Wayne Man looks really pink here.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? That's the point. Where's this pink coming from? But maybe it's to represent the love that they all feel for each other.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's the first time I've fallen and you weren't there to catch me. Is it though? I mean, if you want to be pedantic about it, Two-Face captured you in the last film. He wasn't there to stop you from being captured. He may have saved you there.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh god, yeah, this is it. The whole... She was like Power Rangers. Oh, Christ. We are the super friends. Hey, shut up.
But we're going to need a bigger cave. Not really. You just got
I
one
mean,
extra
do
person.
you really need a bigger cave?
I quite like the symmetry of this ending the same way as Batman Forever did, though. I do quite like that.
Mm-hmm.
With it ends with them running at the screen. It is an awesome shot to end on, even if you can see the cow wobbling like hell.
Yep.
And so, I don't know. Alicia Silverstone's. It might even be Alicia Silverstone, but she's running very weirdly as well.
I wonder if that was even them.
Yeah, I doubt it. It's quite a cool ending, to be fair. So that's the end of
the Burton Schumacher films. Hooray! What a way to end it.
I mean, I've said it before. It is what it is. It's done now. Like,
yeah, it's pretty. It's awful, but for me, it falls into the category of so bad it's good.
Yeah, for me, there's a lot of great stuff in there. I think the effect of it has long gone. So there's no point really getting angry over it anymore. Honestly,
I can't get mad at this film.
It's a bit of fun. I totally can see myself. I do sometimes throw it on a Sunday afternoon because it's just one of those films. It is what I've said before. I would rather any day. I would rather watch this over Batman v Superman and Suicide Squad.
At least it knows it's stupid.
Yeah, exactly. And also, there are a lot of people who say that they didn't know they were being campy, and it's like, nah. I don't know how...
They knew.
I don't know how anyone could watch this film and go, oh yeah, this is being unintentionally bad. Like, the people making this knew what they were making. They knew they were making a giant, homoerotic, drag-filled toy commercial, and they kind of
starring the ambiguously gay duo.
But yeah, it's, I don't know, it is what it is. What's this song over the credits?
I've no idea.
It's gone now anyway. There's another one on. Oh, Rick Baker was involved again. Hang on, what? Principal Copsicles by Rick Baker. Is that what they're calling the Frozen Police? Oh, that's wonderful. There's not really any funny names though.
No.
Oh, okay, so it was called the Bat Hammer, the Bat Skiff, and the Bat Cycle. The Bat Hammer. All these names are too normal. We need funny names.
Yeah. It's just... This film is just so pathetic. Yeah, it's just so meh and horrible and...
Yeah, I definitely...
The thing is... I don't watch it a lot to be like, I don't put it on every Sunday like you do and say, let's laugh at crap, because for me it's just so padded and drawn out. I just can't find it that funny.
Yeah, I can understand that.
It just moves at an absolute snail's pace.
I can understand that. There's a lot of padding in it. There's a lot of get to the point. But
get on with it.
Get on with it. But yeah, I don't know. It's just one, and I guess because as a kid I loved it as well because bright colours and things, and I'll always have that with it. I wouldn't leap to its defence if someone said it was awful. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be there going, well, actually,
yeah, definitely.
Wrong, I also don't. It's one of those things where I'm like, it just let's move on from it now. It is what it is. I never want them to change it, or it was important that it was there for the time, because without it we wouldn't have got the Dark Knight trilogy.
Definitely, yeah. we probably without this, you probably wouldn't have got films where studios take a step back and think, okay, how can we actually do comic book films right and take them seriously?
Exactly.
And we ended up with films like X-Men and Spider-Man,
Yeah.
obviously kickstarting the superhero genre again.
Exactly. It had to be made for films for comic book genre to progress because they had to. This has become the example of what not to do. And as much as I defend some aspects, yeah, do you know what I mean? Yeah. Okay, so here's the post-credit scene.
Oh, okay. Oh,
That's
that's
it.
it.
It's weird, isn't it?
Oh, I half expected someone to come in and say, Mr. Wayne, I'm here to talk to you about the Justice League initiative.
It's just weird to me that it's like a
Yeah.
full-on animation as well of the logo. Do you know what I mean? Like, you expect the title to pop up, but yeah. So, everyone, I hope you enjoyed the commentary to Batman and Robin. Thank you, Isaac, for doing all of these commentaries for me. It's been a lot of fun.
It
Thank
has,
you for
yeah.
approaching me about them. It's been a lot of fun. I imagine we'll be back with some other things at some point, won't we? If you're up for it.
Yeah, definitely.
But yes, once again, I'll leave a link to Isaac's channel in the description. If you did enjoy this, like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. I'll see you in my next one. Bye bye.
Bye bye.